Hey guys, this is a makeup tutorial for the look you see in the photos. I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So I use cocoa butter to moisturize my skin just because I have severe dry skin and I don't break out. I don't recommend this if you break out easily. Don't use cocoa butter. This is a random MAC eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to use a brown color. You want to use a brown color or a darker color than your complexion because this is what's going to give your shadow. It's going to give your eyeshadow. It's going to be the transition from the light colors to the darker colors. You can also put a brighter color underneath your brow bone, but I'm not going to because I'm going to put concealer there. So here I have a black eyeshadow from Wet n Wild. It's like $1.50 at any drugstore. I'm just going to do this on the outer edges, and I'm going to use that little wrinkle at the top of my eyelid as my guide. And this is another eyeshadow in gold from Wet n Wild. I wet the brush a little so it can give this gel-like look, and I'm just going to put that in the inner corner of my eye. Now it's not going to be really neat because I want this kind of smudged look. I don't want everything to be in sections. I want it to be like blended out. And I'm just going to blend it out again with this little flexible brush to the edges of the tape because my tape is another guide. And this is just a white glittery color, and I'm just going to use that in the inner corner of my eye. Like, instead of eyeliner, I'm just going to use this to brighten it up. Can't really see the color, but it looks awesome. And then I'm going to use black for the outer line, and always pull it towards the tape. Want everything to reach wherever you have the tape. So I did my lashes and eyeliner. I know this looks kind of painful, but it's not. It's just giving me a really neat, clean wing. Really easy, just use some Scotch tape. So this is my Makeup Forever foundation. I don't really need foundation. I just use it because it evens out my skin color. I don't know if you could tell I got a lot of red and yellow spots. You can kind of see it on my forehead, but whatever. A lot of people don't need it. You don't need foundation. Just using it for this video because it's a going out look, and when I go out I take a lot of pictures, and foundation photographs really well if you get the right color. And this foundation makes it look really smooth and flawless. I like to rub it in with my hands. I can feel what's going on. Well, here I have the beauty blender. I wet it a little bit. I like using it because it packs in the makeup so I can get the full amount instead of using a brush which just wipes it off sometimes. This is my Kat Von D concealer. It's a shade lighter just because it's going to highlight this section of my face. So I'm going to push it in towards my nose, and it's just going to make my nose look skinnier. I know, it sounds weird, but yeah. And I use a shade lighter just so it can look bright in pictures. So wherever I put the concealer is where it's going to stand out more in pictures. Oh, I did it too much on my nose. It's supposed to be a skinny line. I'll probably wipe that off later, but yeah. You just put it wherever you want it to be highlighted in photos. And I'm putting it under my cheekbone because I want that part to look brighter, and then my actual cheekbone will look darker because I don't really have any. So makeup is all about illusions, girl. So now it's looking like I have cheekbones, you know. I'm just going to blend it out a little bit and clean up under my eyelid. I probably should have waited till after this to do my eyelid, eyeliner, whatever. But yeah, just blending it out. This is a darker color. It's a MAC concealer. You can't really see it in this lighting, but this is going to go on my actual cheekbone where you see that natural shadow on your face. Going to make it even darker because, you know, strong cheekbones is really in right now. And I don't have any, and I can't get surgery, so we're going to have to do this. And I'm going to put it along my nose on the highlight part went in the center, and I put the darker concealer at the edges of my nose along the bridge. So my nose is going to look even more skinnier. I'm just going to blend it out with my fingers. And you can't really see it, but I see it in person. I guess my lighting's not that good. But this is called contouring because I'm using a darker color to give the illusion of a deeper bone structure. So here I'm going to set my concealer with this MAC foundation. It gives me a matte finish, that dried finish, so I like using it. And it's always important to do this because it keeps that concealer that you put in place throughout the day. And it also hides it in pictures. Instead of seeing a big white cream under your eyes, you'll see just a natural, nice finish. Don't forget to set your concealer, please. Here I'm using a more stern brush for my contour because I want it to look like that dark cheekbone. And then I'm just going to blend it out. Some people set their contour also. You can use a powder to set that, but I don't really do it because my color is not that blunt. It's kind of soft. So this is my angled brush in DipBrow. I only use a little bit, and then I wipe it off on the lid because I really want to use a little bit. It's better to start with less. This is my brow gel to hold the hairs in place. I like my eyebrows to look very hairy. It sounds weird, but I like when you can still see the hair strands. So I put the brow gel first, and this pulls up every single strand, and then it freezes it in place like, a gel. So I already did the left brow, and I'm going to show you my right brow. And I didn't speed this part up because a lot of people ask me to show more detail of how I do my brows. So here I start with underlining it, and it's key, it's very important to have a mirror, a magnifying mirror. Because if you do it in a regular mirror, it's not going to be perfect. When you have this magnifying mirror, it's really good. So I'm drawing my arch. It's going to go above my natural hairs, because instead of getting my eyebrows waxed, I just draw on an arch. So that little tip where the arch is, that looks kind of weird, it's just going to get covered up with concealer later. I just want my arch to be high. So I'm just leaving that little patch of hair there. Now I'm going to do the beginning of my eyebrows. I save that for last just so I have the leftover product. You don't want a new batch of product on this part because then it's going to look like a box. You do not want a box shape. So just use the leftover product that was left there and do the beginning of your eyebrow. I don't know what you would call that. And then just touch it up a little bit. It doesn't look pretty neat right now, but that's just because I'm going to use concealer to line it up. And there's barely anything on my brush right now. Barely anything. Then I'm just going to use this little spoolie. It's for mascara, but whatever. To brush out my hair. Because I really want to see hair in my brows. I hate that airbrush painted look. I like it to be hairy. Got my concealer again, and I'm going to use a tiny eyeshadow brush. It's pretty stiff because I always put concealer on it. And here you're just going to underline the brow. And you could clean it up. It's kind of like an eraser. Just erasing any imperfections. I covered that little patch of hair that made my arch weird. Yeah, so I raise my eyebrows to pull the product down because you don't want to see a white underline in your picture. So I'm pulling it down, and then I'm going to rub it out with my fingers, and then I'm going to draw it again with the brush just to make sure that line is precise. I know I kind of rushed that part. But yeah, this is just leftover product. It's not, I didn't dip it again, it's just leftovers, and I'm just blending it out. Now I'm going to brush off the setting powder. Sometimes I use the Ben Nye setting powder because it'll give me a brighter highlight, but this one is really natural. This is just a blush from the drugstore because I ran out of my MAC blush. And I'm just going to use it to warm up my face because we had that bright cream for the highlight, then we had that dark cream for the contour. The blush will give it a warm, nice transition. And I think you should always wear blush if you're doing highlight and contouring. And then that's it. I'm just going to put on some Wet n Wild lip gloss. This is beauty on a budget, child.